Hey, just going to do an adjustment. Susan Lazar-Hart here, your congruency coach for creatives, for seekers. For those of you asking, so this is my life. I know I came here for more. I know there's something else possible. For those of you who wake up in the middle of your lives going like, I don't know, I thought this was going to be like different. That's what congruent living is introducing to you. A different way of being in harmony so that everything flows in creating a life you love. Now, today I want to share with you, do a little housekeeping here. Most of you know, maybe you don't, I was biking in France for 2 weeks with my pals. And as you can imagine, biking by yourself, joining with a group, by yourself again, there's a lot of room for reflection, for being in the question. It was about this time last year when we were biking together that the book Breaking Free came to me. And so what came to me this time around is now's the time for change. Now's the time to let go of what perhaps might have been working, isn't working, might have brought you joy, doesn't bring you joy. Now is the time. You know, if not now, when? Well, now is the time. So as I had time for reflection, I wanted to share with you, we're going to be shifting things here. This Facebook is going to be closing by June 30th. It'll be the last day this group will be active. But don't worry, I'm working on a place for you to be with me, for us all to gather as a community. So stay tuned for your invitation to join me in what it is that is being created right now, even as we speak. So for our final month together, I thought the really cool topic would be how to fall in love with your life. Because that's really what people come to me for. I'm just not in love with my life. I thought this is what I wanted, but I actually don't. So Susan, where do I go from here? So Abigail wrote in a great question. Why is it hard to let go of what doesn't bring me joy? Well, holding on to what doesn't bring you joy becomes a habit. And so it becomes an ingrained part of what you're creating and how you're creating. And now's the time. Now's the time for change. So many solar flares, so much going on in the world. Now is the time for change. And so I'm going to invite you to come and change as we go. So we're going to explore this question, thank you again, Abigail, by looking at three main factors: the comfort zone trap, emotional attachments, and the fear of regret and uncertainty. Now, if you're listening to this now and you have a question, now's the time to pop in, right? Write your question in. It'll come up on my feed. And if you're watching later, hashtag replay and tell me, you know, I love it when you write in what changed for you. What ahas do you have? And what questions do you have about creating? I don't want to say greater and I don't want to say more. I'm going to say creating expansively so that you're playing with the quantum entanglements. You're playing with the energies of the universe that are here for gifting and receiving. Again, we're not here alone. We're not here to do this by ourselves. We're here for co-creation. So let's go. Let's talk about the comfort zone trap first. Yeah, everybody else? Yeah, we've all been there. We often hold on to things, people, relationships, situations, jobs that are no longer serving us. And when I say serving us, they don't bring you joy, right? We live in a world where there's a benefit to everything. And so benefit to me is a co-creation. So if you're in a comfort zone where it's like, okay, I'm just going to keep doing this until something else shows up. It's about putting your energies into, I wonder, what else could I be creating with this? Ask yourself, does being in this trap, in this comfort zone, create the life and living I'm asking for? That's all you need to know. You get an energetic yes, an energetic no. Because even the things that don't bring us joy, they often outweigh what we've decided are the fear of the unknown. So our comfort zones provide us a sense of stability, even though it doesn't, but we pretend it does because it's what we know. It also keeps us stagnant. So why is it hard to let go of that? Because you say, well, at least it's something I know. Didn't you come here for greater? For more expansiveness? Yeah, if that's a yes, keep on listening. Oh, by the way, at the end of this, I'm going to give you yummy exercise I got from Tim Wilde that I do every day when I walk outside. And it really shifts everything because, you know, how you start your day is how your day begins. Get out of your comfort zone of how you start your day. So next, we feel safe but stagnant. Moving into growth zones require us to embrace change and take risks. What's one thing I could do today that would actually have me creating my day in a different way? Is a great question to ask. I'm all about living in the question. Then you'll find you'll get new possibilities, new experiences, something will just pop. And it's like, that's it. So it's really about surfing, right? Rather than diving into what you want to hold back on, it's more about saying, okay, I get it. There's something else coming. There's something else coming. I'm going to take an aerial view of my life and living and what doesn't bring me joy. I'm going to acknowledge it and let go of it. Because whatever you hold on to holds you back from the joy of being you. Now let's consider emotional attachments and how they shape our identity. We often tie our own sense of self to people, places, and activities in our lives. And there's so many times where I hear people come in with their stories. We've talked about this many times on Congruent Living and with Ask Susan. The story you are holding on to is holding you back from being you. All of you. And a great question to ask when you're not living in the joy of being you, ask, is there a story I'm holding on to here? Now, then you could ask, who does that story belong to? Is that mine, somebody else's, something else? Is it my country, my family, my place of origin? Be happy with what you have. There's no joy in that. Why do you always take risks? There's no joy in that. There's nothing that will enlighten you to you being the joy of you. So letting go can feel like losing a part of yourself. Well, I've always felt like that. We've always believed that. So this attachment can be particularly strong if you're invested with a lot of time and energy into something, even if it's no longer fulfilling. I mean, we've been doing Ask Susan in Congruent Living, this Facebook, for 10 years, roughly 10 years, with 2,000 members coming and going. And my question is, and has been, and that's why I've been offering these polls, how is this serving you? And when I don't see anyone coming back, any information or very little information coming back, then I ask myself, okay, who is this serving? What's the benefit of creating with this? And it's not a rightness, it's not a wrongness, it's the acknowledgement that we shift and change all the time. So what might have served people does no longer serve them. What might have benefited is no longer a benefit. It's about that attachment. What if you could live without attachment to what you're creating and how you're creating and who you're creating with? What could that look like? It's a great question. Just being present with that, with awareness and appreciation, with so much appreciation to what brought you here to these questions right now. So imagine your heart and mind are totally connected, your third eye with threads to everything in your life. Now, let's be present. Let's ask some questions. Reflect on what truly defines you and what you're holding on to out of the habit of it always being there. And if you're willing to just be really, really present, put your hand on your heart and ask, what's serving me now? What in my life am I choosing that's bringing me joy? Journal it. Lastly, let's talk about fear of regret. What if we let go of something and later regret it? Often that's what I hear. Well, what if, Susan, but what if I made a mistake? There's no such thing as a mistake. Everything that you're choosing has brought you to where you are now. Your whole life is building those foundations in which you can lean into and ask these questions. That's what congruent living is all about. So it's not about being paralyzed by the fear of getting stuck, of whatever that is for you. It's about, I wonder, it's about being in wonderment. So I wonder what this could create. So think of your life as many, many forks like a road with many, many tributaries, right? Each decision or choice leads to a new path. It's like, oh, I wonder, and being present. Part of what I teach in the Congruent Living Academy has to do with body-mind connection. So tapping in, letting your body be present with you in these choices. I wonder. Staying on the same road out of fear can prevent us from really discovering a totally different choice that would add to your life and add to your living. It's about trusting this journey and believing that there are new possibilities. So I want to introduce you to a short exercise. It's about finding joy by allowing yourself to go where you need to go. If you resist, struggle, or fight it, if you're attempting to force changes that don't align with the frequency you're receiving, that's, Abigail, thank you so much for your question. I'm just going to repeat that again. And for all of you listening, if you're attempting to force changes that don't align with who you truly be and the frequencies that are here for you at the moment, that's when you get that puzzlement, like, why am I holding on to a life that just doesn't work for me? That's not a question. That's an awareness. Now, let's start asking some questions from there. What would I truly love? What does that look like, feel like, taste like? What have I been eliminating from my life that I could actually now choose? Love that question. So here we go. Here's your exercise for this week, and let me know what pops for you. Take a moment for yourself. Go outside in the sunlight first thing in the morning. Open your arms, face to the sun, your heart to the sky, and hand yourself over to the frequencies that are coming in for you by saying, I am prepared to flow in the direction that my soul has intended for me today. I'm prepared to flow in the direction that my soul has intended for me today. I am prepared to flow in the direction that my soul has intended for me today. It is so. Yeah. Different energy? Yeah. The simple act can help you connect with your inner guidance and align with the joy that is meant for you. So, reminder, we are closing this Facebook down on the 30th of June. I will still be coaching. We will still be having the Congruent Living Academy. I will still be having my one-on-ones. If you're interested in any of that, reach out to me. Remember, letting go of what doesn't bring you joy is a journey. It's a journey, because it's like, oh, I thought that, but not now. Maybe it worked for a day, maybe it worked for a year, maybe it worked for 20 or 30. Now. Be in the now. It takes courage, self-awareness, and a willingness to embrace the unknown. Remember, falling in love with your life means making room for joy. That's why I said it's about easing out, not contracting in. Falling in love with your life means making room for joy and fulfillment. So thank you again for joining me on Ask Susan, your transformational moment. Let me know what pops for you. Stay tuned for more details about what's coming next for this group. And we'll see you right here on Ask Susan, your transformation moment in, I wonder, what brings you joy in creating a life you love. Live boldly, love greatly, and be that fearless leader you came here to be, because the world needs more of you and your special sauce and your zest for life, not less. Have an amazing week. Bye-bye.